Welcome to the Monday Minute. I'm so happy to be back with you. Believe it or not, this is the last Monday Minute of the year, and maybe the last Monday Minute ever. I'm really thinking about changing up format next year. So if you have comments about that, let me know. But yeah, I'm not sure that I'm going to continue this series in this way for 2025. So we are talking about this, our culture repair sparks. We're to the final one at the end of the book, and it is my favorite, and it's perfect timing for this. The word is zeal. And a lot of you, when you saw the announcement about this particular session, you were pretty excited about that. Hey, Mukesh, thanks for joining me. I'm glad you're here. So, zeal. Let's talk about this because this is a really it's a big feelings word. Like, just say the word zeal out loud to yourself. You can't say it without smiling. I don't think. I can't say it without smiling. It just brings a certain level of energy to it. There's a gusto kind of idea when we talk about having zeal. And so I want you to think about that. Think about times in your life when you really felt that level of gusto, a lot of energy, positivity, like really loving what you're doing. That is what zeal is all about. And then I want you to try to imagine how you could carry that into your team and invite that from others. So people were behaving with zeal. What would that look like? You know, in my work experience, what that looks like is that people were actually just jumping in and offering to help one another. Like, nobody was saying, that's not my job, I'm too busy, I've done my work already. I mean, people were really teaming together to make things happen. And nobody was keeping score about who did what. Right? Everybody knew we were working toward an end goal together, and everybody was contributing as much as they could. Because when you have zeal in your life, you don't have a scorecard, right? You're just following the energy of the moment. So what else? What else makes you think about zeal? What does it look like, feel like, sound like when you have zeal in yourself or in your team? Another thing that comes to mind for me about when there is zeal that is present, beyond just that willingness and that energy that you feel, is this sense of accomplishment. So there is this joyfulness that comes from the work that you're doing. When you have zeal, the work itself is giving you joy. It's giving you vibes of joy and accomplishment. And, wanting to lean in is easy, right? It doesn't feel like a hardship. There's ease and flow in zeal. So when you look at your life, when you look at your choices right now, where are you feeling that kind of ease and flow? And how can you invite more of that? I know that's why you're here. How can you invite more zeal? Uh, Hey, from Florida, Christy, I'm so glad you're with me. Thanks for joining me. You're a customer service professional this time of year, especially. I think a lot of customer service professionals are probably struggling to have a little zeal in their life. And so, but it's something you get to cultivate. It's something you get to create for yourself, regardless of what everyone else is doing. So part of zeal is you're not allowing the external to become what you lies. And that is because you have this sense of purpose and meaning in your work. And I know I talk about this all the time. But purpose and meaning and the framing that you put on that is so important. So if you say, oh, I have to do this thing today, like, can you see the energy? And like, as soon as I said, I have to, like, the eyes close, you downcast, your voice changes. But when you say, oh my gosh, I get to do this today, right? I get to do this. There, you already have the energy in this. So much of the mindset work around zeal is that framing that we do. When we catch ourselves saying, oh, I have to, how do we reframe that to, oh, I get to? Oh my gosh, I have to do another, to, I'm so good at this, I guess doing another one's not a problem. It's all about how you talk to yourself. I promise you, it's going to make a big difference for you. So zeal is something you choose. And when you choose it for yourself, which is the whole message of Show Up Positive, when you start choosing these things for yourself and you start showing up in these ways, then you invite other people to join you, to reflect, to do the same. So you get to invite other people to reflect that zeal back to you. And that's how it's going to work. So you can't give other people zeal. You can't command zeal from other people. You can have meaningful conversation that invites people to talk about what has worth and purpose for them. And then you can help to cultivate for that for them. And that is going to help them experience zeal. But that's the only way that you can give it to them, is it's first got to come from them. You got to know that what matters, and then you got to help make that meaning and purpose. So what I want you to know is, in this last word, and bringing zeal into your team, the practice of having ongoing conversation about what are we doing, why are we doing it, who do we want to be, what do we want to give. Hey, Mark, glad that you're here. What do we want to give to one another? It's important. It is how you maintain zeal in your team. Zeal is a zest, a gusto for being a part of this team. And if you want that to continue, then you have to do a little bit of work. It's like any other relationship. If you are in a marriage, if you have a significant other, if you have children, you have to work on those relationships. If you're not putting intentional effort into those relationships, you are not going to get the most out of them. It is the same thing in your team. You have to work toward that with intentionality. So zeal is yours if you choose to cultivate it in yourself and then invite it to be reflected with others. So this is your Monday Minute. I hope, as we are rounding up all of these words, that if you didn't get your book and you still want a copy, let me know. I can send you the digital version of this, and you can have these 24 words. They start with the word abundance and they end with the word zeal. And it's an amazing set of ideas in very, very simple 2-page format with some important questions to help you. So here are the questions for zeal I'm going to leave you with. What energizes me? Follow your energy, cultivate your energy. Like, really remember a time when you felt that zeal, that gusto, that zest. Feel that energy in yourself so that you know what you are reaching for. Number 2, what am I willing to fight for? See, this is that work part. What am I willing to fight for? We have to recognize that relationships take work. We have to fight for what we want. We don't get to just sit back and expect it to be there. Number 3, what am I passionate about? When you are focusing on what has meaning and purpose for you and ignites your passion, you're going to have more zeal, which is going to invite other people to see that in you and mirror it back. What motivates me to keep going? And the counter side of that is, what is getting in the way of my motivation to get going? How might I need to remove some things that are getting in the way of my desire to keep going? What are my zeal stealers, and how do I get rid of those? And then, what difference do I want to make? Back to meaning and purpose. When you stay on point with meaning and purpose, I promise you that you have the best shot ever at really getting to experience zeal. But you got to get in touch with yourself. You got to decide what you're going to do for you. You got to decide zeal is something, that gusto, that zest, that energy of that is something that you want to cultivate. I don't even want to say chase. We don't want to chase it because that means it's elusive. If we cultivate it, right, then we are growing it into our lives. And that's what I want for you. So if this is our final episode ever of the Monday Minute, thanks for being with me. I appreciate so much. You can always go watch the replays. They are on my YouTube channel. You can catch all of those back issues. And I don't know, maybe I'll come back and continue next year, and maybe we'll be doing something different together. But I know that I will continue to show up and share all of these wonderful insights for the Show Up Positive movement, because you have the right to have positivity in your life. You have the right to be the best version of yourself that gives you zeal and zest. But sometimes you got to put a little bit of intentional focus to make it grow. And I just want to continue to give you all of these fabulous little reminders of things that you can do that are going to help you have that positivity that you want, because you get to show up positive for yourself. And then everything else is just like the bonus that you get on top of that. Thank you so much. Happy holidays to everyone. I've enjoyed spending 2024 with you, and I will see you again in 25. Bye.